Hello and welcome back to the Balanced and Built podcast. My name is Morgan.
My name is Shay.
And welcome back for another episode, you guys. We are just killing it today in the studio. We're so happy to be back. But today we have a really good topic for you guys. We're diving into anxiety and mental health, talking about our experience with it and what has helped us because we feel like it's really common nowadays.
And not talked about enough.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, any housekeeping?
Housekeeping-wise, not too much other than just to continue to support our channel. We would love if you could like, comment, and subscribe. Share our episodes with a friend. It helps support our channel more than you know and helps prop us up in the algorithm, which really helps helps us reach more and more women. So we really appreciate you guys listening and for your support.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's get into it. So we kind of just want this to be like more casual and conversational. And just talk about our experience, like I said. So, you want to start us off?
Oh, man. I would say, for me, mental health-wise, a couple of the things that I've really dealt with has been more from the eating disorder side. That has also come with anxiety. That has also come with overthinking, body dysmorphia, all those kinds of things. I don't know how far you want me to go into it, but...
I don't know. I mean, I just kind of... Maybe, like, how it shows up in your daily life, like, any triggers, and how it impacts, like, your life or your work. Yeah. And then I'll share mine.
Okay, so I would say that's probably, like, the biggest mental health thing that I deal with. The other challenging thing that I do deal with sometimes is I was diagnosed with PTSD from my leg injury, so PTSD and depression from that, but that I, for the most part, have under control. There's some, like, triggers and stuff that go along with it, so I'll probably not talk about that one as much, but maybe further down in the episode, like, something may better relate to that. But with the eating side of things, daily triggers, I would say, like, when people talk about how much they don't eat, and, like, oh, I only ate twice a day, and, like, use that as, like, a flex. Like, it's so crazy to me. That triggers me because it makes me feel like that's what I should be doing. You know, and, like, I've worked so hard to get myself out of that mindset.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I ever fully went into this. I'm not going to. But basically, for me and the eating side of things for me, I dealt with intense restrictive eating. So I was never a binge person, but I would go, like, a day or two without eating, and then I'd have like 85 grams of chicken, and then I would like go back to not eating. And like I did that for a long time, and I got help and whatnot, and now I'm doing really good. And bodybuilding actually really helps with that because it's like, oh, if I'm gonna grow muscle, I gotta make sure I eat, so I know my food is going towards something. So but definitely, yeah, that trigger still exists. I don't like that. People questioning my food all the time, that used to be a trigger for me because it would make me, like, I'm already overthinking about the grams that are on my plate. Because, like, I feel like when I look at a plate, I always see it in like, you know, protein, carb, fat, and, like, the grams in which the amounts are. Like,
even when you just said 85 grams of chicken, I was like, wait, what?
You're like, does she really know that? Yes, I do. And so when people are, like, questioning what I'm eating or, like, telling me, like, you're barely eating anything, and it's like, I'm eating more than you and you don't even know it. But, like, those things kind of trigger a little bit because it causes me to overthink because, again, I'm already struggling to put the food on the plate and then eat it, and then having someone question it's really tough. So those two things have definitely gotten better, but those are the ones that probably pop up the most often. The other one that really gets me, and this is very hard being in the bodybuilding world, is reassurance. People that have eating challenges love getting reassurance. Should I eat this? Sends me a picture. Do I look like this or that? Or, like, my outfit's making me look fat, or, like, having, like, things like that. And, like, it's very common in the bodybuilder world. Like, that's just the world we live in, you know? Like, we're constantly scrutinizing our bodies, like, and you're already dealing with, like, a mental battle in your head. And so, like, you want that reassurance from somebody else, but sometimes that reassurance can trigger me because sometimes it'll make me feel like, look at that person and be like, wait, I don't look like that.
Yeah.
And so then that'll kind of get me a little bit. That one, I would say that one comes in ebbs and flows. Sometimes I could be, like, really strong-minded and just, like, I know the reason, I'm aware enough to know that the reason why the person's asking me is because they're dealing with something that they need help with and I want to help. But sometimes if I get overloaded with that, it becomes way overstimulating, and then I start to like internalize it and look at my own self.
Yeah.
One thing I like to try to tell myself though is that this sounds slightly delusional potentially, but I believe that triggers exist. But I believe that if I am triggered by something, it means I did not do a good enough job in my therapy and healing journey in that particular area. And so if it's triggering me, it means I haven't exposed myself enough to that. It means I have not come up with coping mechanisms to deal with those things. And I need to do better in those areas. And so I try to really take a lot of self-responsibility for those triggers. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, like because I'm like, makes me feel like everything's my fault sometimes.
Yeah.
But like I really try to be aware of that, because if I can, obviously you can't expose yourself to everything and like become de-triggerized to everything, but like
Right.
if I can take that approach where it's like, all right, I know I'm getting triggered by this, what can I do to like set some boundaries while I work on this in myself, so then I can be better for somebody else or for my
Yeah.
own self.
Yeah.
So that's something that I do, but I would say like that's probably how it shows up in my daily life the most. Sometimes I get in like downs and ups of like body checking or like comparing on social media and stuff, which can distort, like the brain with the dysmorphia and stuff. But later in the episode, I want to talk about like the way I'm approaching this year and like how I'm not going to be going down those like holes. But that's probably how it shows up in my life, like
Okay.
every day. It's not like it used to be super intense.
Yeah.
But it's not so much anymore. It's very in control, as much as maybe it doesn't sound like it was in control the way I just explained it, but
No, I
it's
think-
very much in control.
I've never heard that, looking at triggers that way, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is something I need to do more work on, because I feel like, yes, it's good that our generation talks a lot more about mental health than previous generations. However, I do feel like sometimes we can kind of like victimize ourselves
Yes.
and say like, oh, that triggers me, like you need to stop triggering me, and they don't take any accountability for it, whereas that was like a really, I don't know, like healed thing to be like, oh, actually that just shows I need to do more work in that area,
Yeah,
Like, I love
one of
that.
my really good friends, Logan, she's a therapist. We should have her on the show one time
Yeah.
to talk about like all of this stuff. But she always tells me, she's like, your mental health is your responsibility,
Yeah.
and that is so true, because you can't control what other people do around you. You can't control what you're going to open up on your phone and see. You can't control what someone's going to say to you at lunchtime. You can't control how someone's going to look at you or not look at you or whatever it might be in an outfit that you're wearing. You can't control if someone's going to be mean to you or say something nasty to you. You can't control that.
Yeah.
So all you can do is control how you intake that information and how you let it affect you. And it's taken me a while to get to that point. Because ultimately, like, what are you going to do? Sit in a cabinet your whole life? Like, you're going to shell
Cabinet.
yourself away? I was, like, looking at the cabinets over there. I
Oh.
just thought of cabinet. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't shy
Yeah.
yourself away. Like, that
Yeah.
would be like saying, like, I'm so afraid to hurt myself. So, like, you never walk on the street and you never go work out and you never go to work because you're so afraid to hurt yourself. Or, like,
Yeah.
like, you can't be so afraid or, like, everything in the world triggers you. Like, how are you even going to live your life? Like, that's no life to live. Like,
Yeah.
you got to find a way to, like, yes, you have these things. Be aware of them. Figure out what your triggers are. Set healthy boundaries with people in your life, but then also know how to cope with those things quicker if something
Yeah.
does come up.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a good take.
Yeah, I would say that's been like a big part
Yeah.
of like what I've been focusing on the last like 3 months, honestly.
That's awesome.
So what about you? What's kind of like the main kind of mental health stuff that shows up in your life every day?
For me, yeah, definitely anxiety is like the main thing, and it kind of comes from like a different place. It's more so like perfectionism I
Mhm.
deal with a lot, and I get really easily overwhelmed and easily stressed. I feel like a big like driver of my anxiety is feeling like I'm not like measuring up in every single area. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I have so much going on. There's work, there's my yoga training, there's my personal healing, there's the home and cleaning and cooking, there's my relationship, there's family. Like everyone has so much going on, and I feel like I'm not able to give 100% in all of those areas, and that like really messes with me. So I've been trying to like just work on that and like let go of needing to be perfect in all those areas because it's just not possible. And I feel like it kind of comes from being like the oldest daughter, like being in a caretaking role for my younger siblings from a young age, like trying to make sure the house was clean and like parents fighting, trying to minimize that by like taking on that responsibility and being like as a kid you can't like fully comprehend that whole thing,
But
so
the actions you do.
so you kind of like jump to conclusions and say like, oh well, if I clean the house before they come home then they won't fight.
And you make those connections in your head.
So then that, as I grew up, made me be like a super anxious, perfectionistic person.
No, that's interesting though, like while you're thinking about the next thing, because obviously, like I said, I was kind of focusing on the ED stuff a little bit, but like one of the things I will say, like on the like anxiety side that has nothing to really do with the ED is similar to that, but in a little bit of a different way. So like, I was always a little bit more tomboyish than the rest of my sisters, and I always felt like, and I'm kind of this way in my friendships as well. I used to be this way with all my friendships, but now I have tightened my circle a little bit. But where I was always like, I'm like my dad. I have to be the rock. I can't cry. I have to be the tough one. I can't show emotion. If I'm struggling, I better hide it. Like I remember when I was getting bullied in school, I would come home and I'd tell my mom I had headaches. And that's why I couldn't go to school. I didn't have a headache. I mean, maybe a couple times I did. And one time I would then there was a point that I was like having severe headaches because I was like lying about the bullying.
Oh, wow.
And I was so stressed because I was so scared to go to school, but I didn't want to tell anybody I was scared to go to school. And so I was getting really horrible headaches, but like I would make those excuses because I didn't want to tell anybody I was struggling. And I would just like go through these mental things with my leg and like do it on my own and make it seem easy and show up and smile, and like because I thought I needed to be the rock. I needed to be the rock for my friends. I needed to be the rock for my family. Like I don't think Connor saw me cry until I was like 20.
Wow.
Like I don't like, and then like my mom would attest to this if she was sitting right here, but God bless my mom, because I hold everything in for so long. Sometimes because I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna crack. I'm not gonna nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I would then just have these like breakouts where I would like outbreaks, where it'd just be like a ball of emotion just like hits me all at once, because like I always think of it as like a cup. Like if you have a cup of water, like my cup starts empty and it just gets filled, and at the top, the thing that set me off was something that seems so minuscule, but really it's that 90% underneath that got me to this point. And I would call her and I'd be like going nuts because I'm like, I'm mad, I'm pissed, I got all these things that I've been dealing with for 6 months now that I haven't said anything about, or a year or 2 years now, and I finally let it out. But it comes from feeling like I need to be, and honestly, wanting to be. It's not even feeling.
Yeah.
The desire to be the strong-headed person, to being like my dad in the family.
Wow.
And like, people might say, oh, like, is that, no, it's not. I enjoy it. I want to be that way.
Yeah.
So it's, once I realized that I wanted to be that way, it was, how do I then not let the downfalls of that mindset affect me on the back end? What can I do to minimize that? How do I talk about it and let things out slowly?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But just like upbringing stuff, it just made me think of that.
Yeah, no, like childhood stuff is like so crazy. Like
we have to have Logan on.
We should.
Logan, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna text you right now. We are getting her on the pod, because the way that she talks about like coming up, like how your upbringing, like you are truly a product of your upbringing.
Yeah, I believe it. Another thing I thought of is like a trigger for me is feeling rushed.
Yeah.
If I feel rushed, like my nervous system is literally thinks that it's getting chased by a tiger. Like I feel like because of my childhood, like it was always like be efficient, be quick, grind it out, like do more, work hard. And though those were probably coming from like good intentions, now like, oh my gosh, like I remember a couple of years ago, Jeff and I were going out to dinner and we drove to the restaurant, we parked. I still needed to put on my shoes. So I like start putting on my shoes and I like can feel my heartbeat rising. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And he's like, why are you saying sorry? And I'm like, I don't know, like I just like we're here and I'm not ready to like get out of the car and walk into the
Yeah.
restaurant. Like it was like literally a trigger from like feeling rushed all the time as a child. And he's like, I don't care. Like, I can stand here for 2 minutes while you put on your shoes. Like,
Right,
relax.
like it's not a big deal. Yeah.
So that moment, I really had to like consciously retrain my brain to be like, we don't need to rush. Like, everything's fine. I'm safe. I've said that a lot on this podcast. Like, I am safe. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's basically that's where my anxiety comes from. Just feeling overwhelmed, and then also not, I guess, like having a fear of not measuring up to like my potential.
That's
Or
a big
not
one.
like reaching my goals or getting where I want to be. And like I constantly struggle between the balance of like, if I let go of this perfectionism, then am I not going to reach those
achieve.
goals?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. We've
It's-
talked about this before, where it's like the constant you always want something, you get that thing, and then you don't appreciate it because you already want the next thing.
Yeah.
And the background behind that is that you think you're going to be satisfied from something that you achieve, but in reality you just don't value the goal that you achieve. Because if you valued what you achieved, then you would feel
Yeah.
a portion of success. But I never feel that either.
Yeah.
It's always, and I'm always worried about, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Is there other people that are 26 years old that I could be doing better? And am I behind? Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to do that? And it's like, it's consuming. It's consuming when, in one way, I appreciate it because it keeps me like on my toes, I guess.
Yeah.
It keeps me driving forward. It keeps me not afraid to take on challenges. But then on the other side, it's like, it does get hard sometimes when you feel like you can't be proud of yourself because you don't feel like you've ever achieved anything, because you just want the next thing once that one thing was achieved.
Yeah. Yeah, like I agree. It does have its pros. Like it makes me very driven and ambitious, and
Yeah.
I'm very self-motivated. Like even in school, I would get straight A's and my parents would be like, where did you get this from? Because they were never like on me to study or do my
Yeah.
homework. Like I've just always been a very self-motivated person. I have really high standards for myself and for the people in my life. But yeah, that can definitely be a slippery slope and get unhealthy when you're not able to celebrate the wins, enjoy your life. Like it's really hard to find a balance, and that's like what I've been trying to focus on recently, but it's so hard.
It's so hard. It's honestly one of the things I struggle with the most is
Yeah.
that, and I don't talk about it often because I feel like I've tried so many things and haven't been able to figure it out. So my
Yeah.
solution, which doesn't help me but helps other people, is, oh, sorry, Echo. Sorry, you guys. Echo is here with us. Honey, I forgot you were down there. Okay, come over here. Sorry, quick intermission to reset the dog. Okay, so like what I do, because I feel like I have not found a way to fix it myself.
Yeah.
So I try to, with other people, I go crazy on accomplishments. Like for Connor's birthday, it is an experience every year.
Wait, I love that.
Connor graduates from the police academy. Oh my God. Anytime you sit down with Connor, his two buddies from the academy, and one of the guys' fiancés, they're our, one of our friend groups. They're really good friends of ours. We always talk about that night because I went ham just planning their police academy graduation thing.
Yeah, I
Connor
love
has 4 years at the department. We're freaking going to dinner. I'm getting a cake. I'm like, he just, he was, it was like a couple months ago. And when was this? This was probably like maybe November.
I remember the
October.
cake.
Yeah, the cake was because he had worked like, I don't even know. Like he worked an insane amount of overtime. Like I think he had like 2 days off in like 1 month.
Oh my God.
And like he was getting to the point where he was like, I feel like I can never do enough. Like I just want to provide for you. Like I just want to do X, Y, and Z, and I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And I'm like, I never want him to feel that way. And of course I've never made any, and I'd be like, did I say anything to you to like make you feel like that way? He's like, no, it's just like a thing in my head. So I'm like, all right. So I got a police cake made. I made dinner reservations.
such
I
a
had
cute
drinks.
cake.
Yeah, it had like a little like, it said like fueled by overtime and coffee. And then like it was like a police like uniform and stuff with like handcuffs on it. I go crazy with that stuff.
That is
Because
such a good
I
idea.
want other people, because like for some reason I can't figure it out for myself, so I don't
Yeah.
want other people to feel that way. So like I will go overboard for those things.
I love that.
Even the tiniest little things. Like when you graduate from your yoga thing, oh, we are going out, baby.
All right, let's do it.
I don't go out very often, but when I do, it is time to rock.
That makes it more fun though if it's like
Yeah.
less frequent.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so smart. I think I need to start doing that for Jeff because he also recently like just hit his quarterly quota for the first time like
Yeah.
since being in this position because it was super inflated and he finally hit it and I was like
Yay.
I was like that's amazing, like I'm so proud of you, like how do you feel? And he's like fine.
Yes.
I'm like
Take him out.
what?
Go get a drink, get him some lottery tickets, like go do something fun.
I'm like, you've been trying to do this for like over a year now and you finally just did it and you don't feel any type of way about it. You just
Yeah.
feel fine. And he's like, yeah, and not going to air out all of his stuff, but it has to do with like his childhood as well.
Sure,
like,
sure.
he's like, I just don't ever feel proud of myself. And I'm like, okay, well, if you feel that way and I feel that way, we got to do something before we like.
yeah. You know, the other thing though that you say that I think for me, I was blessed with really, really amazing parents, and still today, and my sisters. Like my family is I'm very fortunate to have the family that I have. But the other thing is that my parents gave us such a good life
Yeah.
that like I want to be able to give that to my kids, and so like I keep
Yeah.
thinking like, well, my parents are doing this at this age, and my parents are doing this at this age, and so like
Mm.
if I can't do that, am I gonna be able like then that like.
And
And
that
I'm like,
can be
oh
bad
my God.
too. And that can be bad too. And also, like, not to say that my parents were bad.
Oh, no,
I
no,
lo-
not at
no,
all.
I
Yeah,
know.
not
But
at
if
all.
any of them are watching this, they gave me great childhood. But it's just like
Oh my God, are you kidding? Lisa's lipstick making? Are you
I
kidding?
forgot about that.
You guys, oh, remember we made lipstick?
That little
the kit.
like science.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, you just unlocked a memory. In my
And then
brain.
remember the Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Super Mario Bros. And all the
She would
pool
stay up-
parties.
She would stay up all night long because we wanted to play Bowser's Castle.
Yeah.
And so she would beat all the things.
I
Remember on the
remember that.
DS too? Oh my gosh, and we'd come home and we'd have, your mom makes the best pasta, by the way. We would have dinner with that and all the pool
Yes.
parties, and your dad sitting in the pool, this float like this in the corner. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were great. I guess my point of that was saying like when you're a child, your brain is not like big enough to comprehend
Yes.
things, so you just draw those conclusions like I
Yes.
was saying earlier.
Yes.
And then that can create these like patterns later on. And also like it took me a good amount of years to like forgive them for that, and I feel like anyone listening to this, you have to like, how do I want to say this? Like I blamed them for a while. I blamed, like we were talking about before, I like made myself the victim and I blamed them for how I was and like the mental health challenges that I was having. But at the end of the day, like it's their first time on earth as well. Like it's their first time being parents. Like they did the best they could with
Yeah.
the knowledge they had at that time. So like coming to that realization really just helped me to like let that go and
And
get
I
over
think
it.
too with that, and like I try to tell people this, whether it's helpful or not, I don't know, but like you can only be a victim of that for so long. Like you
Yeah.
can either wake up and decide to be a different person, or you can wake up and sit in your sorrows and just say, well, this is what happened to me,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna act this way and be this way forever, you know, like I know people like that too that came from really awful situations, and then they
Yeah.
just they came something out of it, or they came from awful situations and they're like, well, my upbringing was this, that, and the third. Okay, you're 40 years old.
Yeah.
You want to keep living this way?
Right. Like at what point are you gonna make a change?
Exactly. It kills me.
Yeah. So it's tough. All right. So yeah, getting back to anxiety, like what's actually happening in the body and in the brain when you have anxiety. I talked about this on the episode about your missing period and probably a lot before that too, but so anxiety triggers that fight or flight response that I've mentioned before. The amygdala in your brain detects like a threat, and then it activates the hypothalamus to release adrenaline and cortisol. I did have to look that up, but I just wanted to say that for you
Interesting.
guys because
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like it
interesting.
makes sense. And then the whole thing with the tiger again, like your body thinks that you're in literal danger, like you were going to be food for the tiger. And so then it starts pumping those hormones to like get you out of that situation, basically. But like nowadays, it's not actually getting chased by a tiger. It's like a stressful email or text from a friend or
your
something.
heart starts going off. You're nervous to respond. You don't know what to say. You start thinking about all the crazy things that could happen that probably aren't going to happen. But, you know,
Yeah. And we kind of like talked about the triggers, but like stress, lifestyle stuff, career, pressure, like pressure to have kids. There's so much for women that can trigger that. Also hormones too, like depending on where you're at in your cycle. For me, it always shows up as like tightness in my chest.
Really?
And like just racing thoughts and like shortness of breath. Like I'll notice I'm not taking deep breaths. What about you?
Yeah, for me, I would say definitely heart. Like my heart will like I'll get kind of hot. Like I'll get really hot.
Yeah, same. Sweaty palms.
Yeah, all that. I'll get like butterflies in my stomach. And that's normally kind of the feeling of like, okay,
Yeah. So, okay, should we get into like
and overthinking, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like that one's just assumed.
Yeah, that one's just like always.
I feel like that's just always happening.
All day. Okay, so should we get into like what's helped us?
Yeah.
I know you said you didn't know how to fix that other problem,
yeah,
but
that
I feel
one,
like
I don't know how to fix it. I know how to help other people feel more excited, but I don't know how to fix it myself.
But I feel like no, you definitely have developed tools to get through a time like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I would say so. Well, I think just like overall, like any trigger that I may have or like any challenge I may be dealing with, there's a couple things that I like try to go back to. So like number one is like distortion. Like what do they call it? I think it's called cognitive distortion. It's like when you're trying to predict the future. And like you're coming up with all the different possibilities in your head. That's going to go for people like for myself when I'm in an ED pattern or like just having anxiety about something or like am I doing good enough or am I ever going to get this or am I ever going to get that? Those things like trying to predict the future, that cognitive distortion, that is not affecting the outcome of what is going to actually happen. And so you are literally wasting your valuable time on this planet with the people that you love on predicting the future when the future is already predicted. It does not matter how much you think about blank, it is not going to change what the decision of that's going to be. If you have a job interview and you go into that job and then for the next 7 days you think about that interview every single day for an hour, you are literally wasting an hour of your day every single day because yes, you should prepare for the interview. You should be more than prepared. You should show up. You should do your best. But once that's already happened, there is nothing you can do until the outcome's determined, and you cannot affect the outcome with your thoughts. You just can't.
Yeah.
The only way you can affect an outcome is with your actions. Like, and even at that, the outcome has been determined already in the future. So sitting there and letting your mind just race and race and race and race and race, like you are literally just, you're not doing anything good for yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think just reminding myself of that constantly, like I'll be sitting there thinking about something and I'll be like, how is this going to affect the outcome? My dad always tells me worrying is paying a debt that you don't owe. Why would you pay somebody money if you didn't owe them any money? So why would you sit there and waste your own time and thoughts on something that you don't even know the outcome?
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I have really locked in and focused on the last like year to year and a half because it's like, that's not going to affect anything.
Yeah, I love that. It's like worshiping the problem by doing that.
Yeah.
And
I think people do it because they think people think that if they have exposed themselves mentally to every possible outcome, the good, the bad, the ugly, and they think about it. They think that whatever the outcome's going to be is going to lessen the blow. It doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
They feel, and I've done this too, that it creates safety.
Yes.
Like if I think of every outcome first,
yes.
I'm like protecting myself, creating this false illusion of safety, but that's just not true at all.
No, it's not true. Why don't you just like go get dinner with your girlfriend or go see, you and your husband, watch a movie, go grab dinner, go on a date, like enjoy your life.
Like if you get stuck in that spiral, like literally go outside and take a walk.
Go outside, take a walk, get up, turn on Move with Nicole is like my favorite Pilates girl
Really?
on YouTube. Love her. I'll just like turn that on,
Yeah.
or like I'll play with my dogs, or like I'll go cook something, or like whatever. But like distract yourself from that. So I think that's like one of the number one things that I really like. But it was like, Shay, you don't even know what's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks. Your whole life could change. You don't even know it. So why don't you just stop thinking about it?
Yeah.
And that will literally cut my brain off. Like I will literally just stop thinking about that.
I love that.
I would say the other thing that has significantly helped me, and I am a Christian. I'm close with my relationship with God. So this has really helped me. But like one of the things that I will do is like, it kind of goes along with the cognitive distortion thing. But like I will never forget this. When I was in the depths of my eating disorder, nobody, not Connor, not my mom, not my dad, not my coach, nobody could help me. But like literally, as much as they tried, I appreciated they were there for support. But this thing was way too big for any of us to deal with. And I'll never forget, I was on my way home from the gym, and I was bawling my eyes out because I just couldn't live this way anymore. I just couldn't do it. Like, I knew I had a problem. I just didn't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there at the stoplight, and I said, I was just, like, breaking down. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, God, this is too big for me. This is too big for me. I can't handle this.
Wow.
And it's not too big for you. And so if I trust you like I say I do, I'm going to give this to you, and I'm hands off. And anytime I get hands off, smack me in the face. Like, hit me hard, like with a thought or like a sign that I need to give this back to you. And so anytime I start getting anxiety about something, and that's when my life changed with my eating disorder. That is the day that I woke up the next day, and I was like, I would get ready to go eat my breakfast, and all of a sudden the thoughts would start coming, oh my God, don't eat this, you're going to get fat, you're going to blah, 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 blah. And I just said, you know what? I gave this to God. If I trust God, then I'm just going to do this. And I did it, and that's literally what got me out of my eating disorder. I mean, of course, I had like therapy and stuff like that, but like that was literally the change of the mindset that changed, and I carry that with everything. Having anxiety about work, having anxiety about bodybuilding, thinking about what is coming next. It's too big for me.
I love that.
I'm not a perfect person. He is.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Too big for me. Above my pay grade. I'm sorry, God.
Yeah. Wow.
So I would say that really helped me. Surrounding myself with the right people.
Yeah.
Yourself, my best friend Logan, Connor, Nate and Vanessa and Foos, and I already said you, my family. Surrounding myself with people that have similar goals, that have similar mindsets, that can relate to the things that I'm saying. Like, we can finish each other's sentences when it's talking about like anxiety and imperfection and things like that. Like, it always helps to be able to like relate to people, to know that you're not alone. So like that definitely helped. I don't know. I'm sure I could think of more. I kind of went on for a while, so your turn.
Those are really good though. I love those. For me, I remember I had a therapist a while ago. I don't do therapy anymore, but I remember her saying that when you're in one of those anxious spirals, to ask yourself, is this a fact? And like 99.9% of the time, it's going to be no, because a lot of those thoughts, like we said, are just like the what ifs. They're made up. They're not real situations. So that, when I heard that, I was like, whoa, that's so crazy. Like, yeah, it's pretty much always not a fact. It's just my brain making it up, and then that can kind of help you shift like back into reality and like snap out of it and stop worshiping the problem, like we said. I couldn't do this episode without talking about like the mind-body connection, and like so I did do talk therapy for like a year, and I just felt like, for me personally, it didn't really help me, because I'm not trying to like say this like, oh, I'm so good, but I am like a very self-aware person. So the therapist was kind of just like not bringing me any new ideas. Like, it was kind of just things that I've already thought about. Like, yes, I already know that I have that problem, but like, how do I get out of that pattern, basically? Yeah. And I'm a huge believer that your body, like, if you've heard of the book The Body Keeps the Score.
Yes, I read that, actually.
Like, your body holds on to these emotions. It stores trauma in certain places. So then I tried somatic therapy, and that was like a huge game changer. and that can be a combination of things, but she would like have me in different like poses, like hip openers. Women store a lot of trauma in their hips, so like doing this daily hip opener like really helps me. I can feel the shift to like calm down, and just doing more like yoga and movement helps to like release those stored emotions. Any kind of exercise can help to release that.
I will say lifting like literally saved my life multiple times. Like that is that was the one thing that I always struggled with, because my leg was always in pain, but if I didn't go to the gym, I'd be a psycho. So it was like, all right, I'm just going to be in pain and I'm going to go to the gym, because then at least I can get out my frustration from the pain and then get out my frustration and my stress from my life. Yeah. Exercise is probably like the first form of defense for any of that.
And it's so interesting. Like, I really believe there is a true mind-body connection. If you guys look up Dr. John Sarno, or Nicole Sachs, her work is based off his, but his whole thing is kind of like the cup you were talking about earlier. She talks about like our emotional reservoir, and when that gets filled up, it can start to create like physical symptoms. He was like the back pain doctor, and his whole like career was equating back pain to like emotional stuff. And it's really interesting. Like, people would have these like crazy whack-a-mole symptoms. They would go to the doctor, they would get everything checked out, everything's normal, there's no discs out of place, like everything's fine, but they still have this crazy pain. And then they would start doing this like emotional work of like releasing all of this trauma, and then their back pain would go away. Like, it's so cool.
So Logan, the one I keep talking about, by the way, if you guys are looking for a therapist, Logan, Redefined Counseling, give her a call. Anyways, but so she just went to, have you heard of EMDR?
Yes.
So she just went to EMDR training this weekend, and I was on the phone with her before I set off the alarm system here. And sorry, Logan, I have to call you back. But she was going to tell me, because a part of the EMDR training is for people with pain, and like how they use EMDR, like the light movement therapy patterns. I don't know anything about this, but she was just saying how they use that. It has to do
with like your eye movement.
Yeah, to like reset the nervous system.
Yeah, and like retrain your brain.
And can help, and then the way that they can do it with like trauma, PTSD, depression, like those are like the common things that this is used to help with. And I guess it's been around for a long time. I didn't know anything about it until recently when she was telling me about it. But she was talking about pain. She's like, cool. On Saturday I'm learning all about how like EMDR can help with pain.
That's cool.
And so I was like, wow, that'd be interesting, because like for CRPS, like I have chronic complex regional pain syndrome. She's like, I wonder, because that is like my brain thinks my leg is broken, but it's really not. Yeah. And like I have nerve damage, which doesn't help, but like my brain thinks my leg is broken, so no matter what I do, it doesn't matter. Like my brain thinks my leg is broken. So like I was thought, I wonder if like that would help me.
You should try it. I've never done it. I've tried brain spotting, which I think is similar. It has to do with like where your eyes were positioned in a traumatic time, and like going back to that positioning and then like releasing that. I did that with my somatic therapist. There's also like neurofeedback, where they can like measure your brain waves. There's so many different alternative things. If you guys are in the Akron area, Alternative Therapeutics in the Falls like does all this kind of stuff too.
They do have a lot of stuff. I will say, cool. I didn't try any of that, but I thought talk therapy was really helpful for me. And
it does help a lot of people.
For different folks, at first I was like, no, I'm not doing that, and then I did it, and it took a while for me to open up, kind of like what I was talking about earlier. Like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm struggling with anything, especially like, I don't want anyone to know, and so, I think just trying different things. Like, I think it's great that you were doing talk therapy and you're like, this isn't really working, so I'm going to like seek out an alternative. Yeah. And so you sought out that alternative and you found something that really worked for you.
Yeah, like for me, the talk therapy, I just felt like we would just like talk about what was stressing me out, and then it would be like, okay, session hours over, and I'd be like, okay, but like we didn't make any progress. Like, I don't feel any better.
See, now, okay, I think that's why it did help me, because I wouldn't talk about anything. And so I think by talking about it like is got you what to open helped up. Is by just releasing it from my brain helped me admit, okay, this is what happened, this was the awareness, and like we would come up with like, okay, so like if this comes up next, how do you deal with it in time, not deal with it 8 months later. But because I would just like filing cabinet, store it, close it, don't open it.
That makes sense. Another thing that's really helped me that I just started I have a 35-day streak as of today is meditation.
35 days?
Yeah,
I'm so
I've
proud
done
of
it every
you.
single day. Thank you. It's kind of like part of our homework for yoga teacher training is
Yeah.
to like get into a meditation practice. And as someone whose brain literally never stops, that has helped me a lot to like quiet it. Just quiet the
Do you
brain,
feel
quiet
like
the
though
mind.
sitting in silence?
Okay, so I do guided.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have not crossed the bridge of silence
If
yet.
I sit in silence, oh my goodness. I'm afraid to sit in silence.
I'm not there yet. It's like a muscle. Like you have to train it. So
Yeah.
I use the app Insight Timer. I really like it. They have tons of free meditations, but you can search like anything you want. Like last week I got my period and I was in such bad pain, and I did one for like cramps, which sounds
Really?
crazy, but it was like a whole guided meditation on like letting go of the pain. And I don't know, I do it a lot of times before bed. There's like a lot of sleep ones, and it just helps me from like in that sympathetic state to shifting into the parasympathetic state. And yeah, Jeff makes fun of it sometimes, but like it seriously does help me. Like
Okay, well,
and it keeps a little streak. I have like a widget on my phone that shows like my
Yeah.
streak and stuff. So, and also like there's a lot of breath work ones which have helped me too, like different ways of breathing, like the box breathing, the inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and you do
you
that.
told me about that, and I was
Yeah.
having like major anxiety a couple days ago, and like when I was laying there about to go to
Yeah.
bed, and I like did that, and it actually kind of helped me
Yeah.
like just distract my brain enough to
It
not
does
think about it.
help. So yeah. Also, like we said, movement, yoga, getting more sleep. Nutrition too. Like when I started really focusing on protein, that helped so much because before, when I was eating more of like a plant-based diet that was heavier in carbs, after a meal I would feel like
Your glucose
like
spikes.
yeah,
Your
exactly.
sugar spikes. Your
And I
glycogen
didn't
spikes.
realize that at the time, but after eating like more protein I feel a lot more calm and just like regulated. So that was a big one. Going on walks, especially like in nature, hiking with Jeff is like my favorite thing to do when the weather is actually allowing for it. Like putting on your favorite comfort show. Like I love watching Friends. I've seen it so many times, so I know what's gonna happen.
Oh
So
my
I just feel
gosh.
relaxed.
Yes, Friends is great. New Girl, love that
Yeah,
show.
that's a good
Schitt's
one.
Creek, probably the best show to ever exist on the internet. Jane the Virgin, my favorite.
Really? I didn't know
Oh my
that.
god, I love Jane the Virgin.
I do
It
like
is
that
such
show.
a funny show. Rogelio de la Vega, or whatever his name is the best person I've ever seen.
I forgot that was his name.
I literally, and the way he says it
Oh
is
my God,
so
that's
funny.
so
I literally
funny.
cannot.
Love that show. Also, like reading a good book is a great way to calm down after a stressful day. And then my all-time favorite, taking a nice hot salt bath or like
Oh.
a shower. Yeah, that
A
one's
bath
good.
is the best.
It's life-changing. So
It is. It is. I
Yeah.
love me a bath. Or you can listen to this podcast.
yeah, seriously, stream it all night.
Stream it all night.
Okay, so we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully, us talking about our experience with anxiety helped you guys feel a little bit more like,
A little more seen.
yeah, that's our goal. And hopefully, you guys can try out some of the things we mentioned that have helped us. But let us know if you've tried anything else or any other game changers when it comes to mental health in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Other than that, we will see you guys next week for another episode.
Bye.